Hi everyone, I had a problem with my mic on that last video, so I'm doing it again. I'm focusing on the same book, John Maxwell's The 21 Most Powerful Minutes in a Leader's Day. And these are strategies to empower ourselves. So today the reading that is given for the Bible reflection, it's 1 Samuel 18, 3-4 and 19, 1-3. And it's about the covenant between Jonathan and David. You can look up the reading online and you can go through it. And it's basically helping us as leaders to ask ourselves about the lids in our lives. What is stopping us from going to the next level? The thought for today is few leaders let others lift lids in their lives. And the question we have to ask ourselves is, who are the lid lifters in your life? So there's three things we can focus on. We can focus on our words, our actions, and our sacrifices. If you think about when you were little, when you were growing up, your parents were the ones who encouraged you, who made sacrifices for you, and who took action to help you. They sent you to school, they dressed you, they clothed you, they fed you. They were there for parent-teacher meetings. They came to your sports days. They rooted for you when you won. They comforted you when you lost. They celebrated your getting prizes at schools when you came in first place. Whatever you did, and when you made sacrifices for the community or for the family, they noticed it. And that's how we can look at our childhood, and we can do that for each phase of our life. When we entered working, when we went to university, or we went to college, or we learned a new trade, we can focus on how we were encouraged, what actions were taken, and which people were there for us, who gave us those opportunities. So for me, when I came to Canada, I went to Regis College. I went to U of T. It was the sisters, the nuns, that gave me that opportunity to do my master's, who guided me, who helped me, and then the Jesuits. And that's how I got involved in spiritual direction and in the church. When I moved to this area in 2007, I went to the church and I introduced myself to Father Larry. And it was under Father Larry's leadership, he's the one in charge of the church, that I got involved. He asked me, would you like to volunteer? Would you like to help? And I said, yes, sure, Father Larry. The same with HRPA. People gave me opportunities to help at the trade shows, to help at the law conferences, to facilitate, to lead, and to mentor others within my professional business life. And also to encourage them to notice their skills. I managed teams. I managed administrative assistants when I was at TD Bank. So I had the opportunity there to recruit, to do reference checks, to help people to come up who had come into the country. The same with TRIAC, the same with Access. I mentored people. I helped them to adjust to the culture in Canada. I helped them to understand the cultural nuances. And when you're an executive assistant, you have to be confident. You can't be a fading lily there. That's not what an executive is looking for. So I had to be confident, I had to dress well, I had to know what to do when, and I had to be able to take direction from the executives that I was helping. When I moved into other roles, project coordination, then I was leading the meetings. I was the one who was setting the agenda. I was sending out the meeting minutes. I was making a note of who was at the meetings. The same with our board work. I had to be the one to help with governance, with HR. So I used all my skills from my education. I took action. I encouraged others, and I sacrificed. I paid for my education on my own. I sacrificed when I bought my place. And other people also sacrificed. When I was going through unemployment, my friends in England, the Taylor family, they used to send me money. My friend Renee, she used to send me money to buy food. And my friend in England, Bhavna Taylor, was very disappointed when the banks did not renew my mortgage for Rosewell Gardens. She's like, Belinda, everybody is going through such a hard time. This is how Canada is. I mean, you've had your place for so long. You had it for almost 10 years. Can they not make an accommodation? Can they not renew your mortgage? I said, I tried. I asked Tangerine. I asked so many people. Nobody wanted to help. And she's like, well, can't you ask people in the family? I said, oh, they can't help. So in the end, I had to lose my place. I still owe them that money. I still haven't been able to get into a good paying job where I can pay down my student debt. And I graduated in 2011. It's not recent. It's a long time ago. So they made sacrifices for me. My mother made sacrifices for me. My brother made sacrifices for me. They all tried to help me. They all said, we hope you get an opportunity to keep your place. We would hate for you to lose it. But it didn't work out that way, because I didn't get that opportunity. Because of harassment and because of other things going on, I lost my place. And then HSBC packed up and they moved out of Canada because they didn't like the environment that was being created here. So I've also sacrificed for others. We have examples of saints. We have examples like Saint Therese of Lisieux, Saint Therese of Avila, and how they built great organizations and they helped to pull people out of poverty. The same thing with the One campaign. I was given an opportunity to be a parliamentary riding leader. I was given an opportunity to meet with MPs and not to be frightened of them, to know that they are human beings too, and to talk to them and be open with them, communicate with them. The same when the Liberals won the election here. I had been tweeting about the elections, not realizing that they were paying attention to my tweets, because people don't like my tweets, or they call it X now. I don't get many likes, I don't get many people liking or doing anything. So I was quite surprised when they won the election and they asked me to come and help them at the Canada Day. And there was only me and there were a few of their staff members. There was nobody else. So I helped them at the beginning when they needed me for the Filipino celebrations and all that. Wherever they asked me to help, I helped them. And then afterwards, they got lots of volunteers and they didn't need me anymore. The same with HRPA. In the early years when they needed me, I went to trade shows, I went to annual trade shows, law conferences, I facilitated. I sacrificed my time to help them, to make the HRPA better, and to help people to work in the interests of the public, and to help new immigrants get their designations. And there were many of us involved in that, not only me. I'm not saying it was only my efforts. There were lots of people that helped and contributed. And I did it because I could not get a job in HR. Initially, when I worked at TD, I worked in HR as an HR assistant. And then I went into the business. Then I went on to do project management. Then I went on to work in the call center. And to get promotions in my field was very, very hard. So I have not earned well in Canada. And I am still trying to build up my speaking business. I do speaking for free, like how I'm posting this. I'm doing it for free to help my friends first and the family who are connected to me, and then other people. And from that, hopefully I will get referrals, I will get people contacting me to help their organizations and to help to make things better. But for a long time, I check the HRPA website. I have not volunteered with them since 2013 because I haven't had those opportunities. And I work at the executive level. I work in speaking as an executive, and in the project coordination that I did, I worked at the executive level as an assistant and also in leading my teams, in chairing the meetings. And then when I went into the call center, I started at rock bottom again. because I couldn't get work. Like many people, I take what's available. So that's where I am, and those are the people that I know helped me. They sacrificed for me, they spoke words of encouragement, they took action, and in the same way, I did the same for others. And sometimes when you're a leader, it's very hard to do that. It's hard to ask for help. It's hard to take money from other people. It's hard to say, yes, I need some help, or I need some company, or yeah, let's go to a movie together, or let's do something together. But sometimes you have to do that, otherwise you'll end up being isolated and all alone. And it's very hard when your friends die. I've had a lot of friends die in recent years, and it can become very lonely, because the friends you grew up with, the friends who you know, those are the ones you share your memories with. You can be old or you can be young, but that loneliness of not having those memories to share with someone can touch all of us. And so the church also encourages us not to be lonely, not to be isolated, to come out, to meet new people, to meet people in our buildings, in our community. And that's partly why I got into volunteering, because at least it gets me out of myself. I'm doing something to help others. I don't just sit at home and wallow and say, oh, I haven't got a job. I exercise, I go for walks, I take photos. I do all these things hoping that it's going to keep me healthy and fit, and that the right opportunity is going to open up for me. Because I ran departments just like all the other executive assistants who worked with the C-suite. We ran the administration, we hired other executive assistants. We didn't have the title of office manager, but we ran our departments. And our executives trusted us implicitly. We handled their credit cards, we handled booking events, we handled paying bills, we handled tracking the budgets for events. The same with HRPA. I was a vice chair for mentoring. So I have had a lot of responsibility, and that's what I'm hoping will lead to me getting a good paid job. Because yes, you can take on the responsibilities, but you also want to have the money to live a good life as an individual and for your family. And for leaders, it's very hard to take that money from somebody else, because you know, they worked for that money, they earned that money, and you are struggling, so now you need to ask for help. But everybody goes through that in life. I don't think there's any person that hasn't gone through financial challenges. If you did not, you are very blessed and you are very lucky. But that's what I focused on today, and that was the chapter. And again, I tried to bring it around to focusing on me as a woman and focusing on my growth and my journey, because that's what we do as spiritual directors, as leaders, as executive. We focus on ourselves first and how we can grow and how we can adapt, how we can change, and then we focus on helping others. If you don't put your own oxygen mask on, you can't help the person next to you. That's what we say. So I hope this time the microphone worked, and I hope it's recorded, because I'll have to upload it again. I have to delete the other talk that I did. But I've covered exactly the same things.